Are you a Form 4 candidate? Are you ready to do paper 1 and score well? This topic is part of question 1. Kindly follow the discussion I have on giving directions. It's part of oral skills, paper 1. What do we mean by giving directions? This refers to providing guidance, providing instructions on how to reach a specific place or location. Giving direction is telling someone how to get to a place. It is guiding a stranger, a visitor, a person, somebody to a local destination. When giving directions, you can do that by orally explaining a route, drawing a map like this one, or by providing written instructions. The aim of giving direction is to help a stranger, a visitor, to help a person to navigate, that is to trace the route from their location to their destination safely. When giving directions, be clear, be friendly, be specific, be calm, be cautious, don't rush, pronounce correctly names of buildings, names of routes. At the same time, remember to present the information required in a way that suits or fits the visitor or the inquirer or the stranger who seeks help from you. When giving directions, there are factors you need to consider. Number 1, always begin from the start point. For example, I have this start point, Huduma Center poster. I want to direct a visitor to the Supreme Court, and at least next to the Supreme Court is the KICC. This is a sketch map of Nairobi. So when giving direction, ask where a stranger or someone is located. That's what we call the start point. Use a visual aid. A visual aid could be a sketch map like this one to direct a person to their destination. As you do that, make sure you name the streets. Use names of the road as they are on the signboards. For example, Moi Avenue. When doing that, you should at least direct a person using what I call the safest route. So as you give direction, make use of the safest route. When doing this, explain the route based on where a person is coming from. Post office to the Supreme Court. Give the simplest route. Avoid shortcuts. Use routes with less turns. Pick routes that avoid confusing intersections. Bypass roundabout. Use the safest route. Avoid dangerous routes, that is, routes that are prone to crime. Focus on familiar route, and as you do that, warn the stranger about confusing parts of the route. When giving direction, make use of landmarks. What is a landmark? A landmark is a recognizable natural or man-made feature used for navigation. In my case, KICC Kenyatta International Conference Center is what I'll call a historic building, or you can also use a sign as a landmark. You can use a monument, a church, a mosque, a large business mall. You can use geographical features such as rivers, Tana River. You can use hills, like, say, for example, Longonot, if you are directing somebody to get to Naivasha, a visitor for that case. You can use bridges as your landmark. For example, in Mombasa, you can use Nyali Bridge as your landmark. So landmarks are hard to miss natural features or man-made features. When giving directions, make sure you capture or you specify travel time by foot, by vehicle. In this case, specify how much time is required for certain parts of the route. Will it take 10 minutes to get to the Supreme Court from Huduma Center, or 1 hour? Specify travel time. As you do that, capture the speed limit, that is, identifying the maximum legal speed one can drive on a particular route. Here you are from Huduma Center, you're directing a stranger to drive all the way to the Supreme Court. What is the speed limit for Haslas Avenue? About Moi Avenue? There is this small avenue here, Tumbo, and then Taifa Avenue. Be kind enough to mention speed limit. Don't forget the distance from Huduma Center to the Supreme Court. What is the distance one will cover to get here? So direct the visitor on the route in terms of kilometer, distance in terms of meters, for the whole route and maybe for specific parts. That is either when walking or when driving. Ensure you capture the distance in terms of kilometers and so forth. When giving directions, it will be wise if you can make use of cardinal points, that is the compass direction. That is, where is Huduma Center? Here. From here, what direction is the Supreme Court? Is it in the north, south, east, west? So cardinal points of this nature, north, east, west, south, are paramount when giving direction to strangers. When giving direction, don't forget to mention the turns. If you look at this map, there is this turn, there is this turn. what is appropriate term to use here. Is it right? Is it left? When giving direction, specify if something is on the left of the road or right of the road. Taifa Road, this is the the Supreme Court is on the left if you come from Huduma Center, that is post office. When giving direction, enable the stranger to keep track of where he's headed to. So make sure you mention everything about the destination. What does that mean? Describe what one will see when they arrive there. Help them to recognize the house. Describe the house. Describe the location. Supreme Court. What are the dominant features of the Supreme Court? Do we have a statue there? Do we have a water fountain there? Mention this and you will have had one to get the directions from Huduma Center to, let's say, the Supreme Court, or Huduma Center to KCSE and so forth. So when giving direction, remember to be patient, be willing to repeat or clarify instructions, or request the hearer, the inquirer, to repeat the directions you give them so that you can make any corrections. Finally, ask them if they have any question. Thank you for listening to me. This is part 1 of this topic, giving directions. I have part 2, the language for giving direction. What are the terms? What are the phrases we use when giving directions? Make sure you watch the next video. Thank you.